Hello and welcome to the Claret and Blue podcast post-match reaction for Aston Villa's third successive win over Manchester City at Villa Park. Emery's got his number, hasn't he? Guardiola at home specifically. Are we to Man City what Crystal Palace are to Villa? Is that the hierarchy of this?
I think you're going to have to do it at the Etihad a few more times to claim that. I had Disassi flashbacks when Doku came on today. I thought, although Matty Cash, as I'm sure we'll get onto, I thought he was brilliant again today. And even when Doku came on, he managed to kind of shut down that threat as well. So it's weird, isn't it? I thought today would be the one where, it's when you come expecting to beat Man City because you've done it twice before in the last couple of years. You think, we're in line for a little bit of a fall and a setback. I thought it was another brilliant performance today. I thought we just very, very professional, very measured, got the goal, and then just did the business to see the game out.
Yeah, absolutely. This podcast, by the way, is sponsored by NordVPN, and there's a link down below in the description if you want to grab the best discount code available. I've also got the live feed, the live chat over there. If you want to get involved, I'll read some of them out as we go. Jay Collette says, watching live in a plane mid-flight. That's cool, isn't it? Where are you heading? Where are we? Where are our voices heading?
It's not the pilot, is it? Who John met? It's nice.
No, if you are, please, for everybody's sake, focus on the steering the plane or whatever. Yeah, a fantastic performance. And I don't know, one that I kind of felt come in a little bit, like even after the disappointment of the go-ahead Eagles game, and we kind of got that out of our system. And the frustration around that was, well, if we do lose to Man City, then what was that for? But we made changes. We've made changes again for this one, and we won the game. So it's very like, okay, well, forget that. This is the bread and butter, winning in the Premier League. But we went into that and we spoke at the back end of that post-match show, you and I, about some of the comments were like, well, yeah, but surely you don't expect us to beat Man City over what we've seen tonight. It's like, well, no, not off with what we've seen tonight, but we can because we're still a good team. And I remember saying it. I wish I'd had time to clip it up. But I did go into today's game thinking, well, if Villa play well, and I feel like this against almost any opponent, we're good enough to beat almost any opponent. Going to Liverpool, I know they're on a bad run, but they're still Liverpool. I'll go into that thinking if we do our job, we've got a chance, and that's a good position to be in as a football club. That I'm not scared of any team. 5-6 years ago, you think, Man City got no chance. To be fair, have you? Like, you're lucky if you score a goal, you've done well. But I'll go into this going, we've beaten the last couple of times at home. Why can't we do that again? And we've done exactly the same, almost the exact same kind of game plan as well.
Yeah, was it 6-1 in one of?
Yeah, that was the year we got relegated, wasn't it? Oh no, Dino we lost 6-1 to Dino's time, didn't we?
First year we were back.
Yeah.
He scored a consolation penalty towards the end or something. Yeah, it was like we were playing two different sports back then, let alone different standards of teams. But yeah, I thought we thoroughly deserved to win it. Just looking at the league table now, Dan, it just has oh yeah, this is where we're supposed to be. Not 8th necessarily. I'm sure we like to be a little bit higher than that still, but we're back in the pack now, aren't we? And I remember during at some stage, it might have been after the first, we finally scored a goal, or after we finally got a win, and kind of crisis, what crisis? But you really are asking that now.
Yeah, are we going to get relegated? Do you think? Or
well, I don't want to jinx it, mate. Just in case.
Can't believe we even get. I can't believe we.
Another 25 points, and I'll be confident we won't. But
it was mad that we were even given that airtime. Like, yeah, the start was bad. We all said this. The Crystal Palace game, Brentford have been better than people expect. We should have beat Sunderland, but they're better than people expect as well. I'm not excusing the start of the season because we were crap. I'm not trying to rewrite history here. But we've now won what? Is it 6 out of 7? Four consecutive Premier League games. The final game, Bologna, go ahead Eagles. Yeah, park that to one side. First half, we should have been better. We should have won that game, really. And that would be that we're still on this incredible run. So, this is a tough opponent. Manchester City is still Manchester City. Liverpool next week, despite their form, are still Liverpool. There's no easy games here. Bournemouth after that will be difficult. But Villa are showing signs of the club that we know they are. Since Emery was appointed, Villa are 4th. We've got hundreds of points since he arrived. There was nothing to suggest in my mind that this was the beginning of the end, and we've done exactly what I thought we would do, turn a corner. And this is what Villa are, not what we started the season as.
Yeah, and, we've lost twice, haven't we? We've lost twice in the league this season. We obviously lost in the Europa League the other night, and we lost in the Cup on penalties. But the fact that we've been able to do this without our player of the season last season, largely. I mean, that really fills me with great encouragement. I don't know how close Tielemans is to being
a couple of weeks, maybe. I'm not sure.
Being back amongst it, but I think we just, we've said it before, haven't we? We've said it in previous seasons that Emery doesn't panic. He sees a setback as a challenge rather than something that should untangle everything that he's done. And listen, it was grim at the start of the season. We couldn't buy a goal, could we? But I think today was probably a bit of a statement performance as well. Because I know, with the exception of Arsenal, you could probably say Bournemouth as well, that that the total race hasn't probably got up and running yet. But I think it shows that we can compete with the best teams in the league. I still think that the cynic in me and the pessimist in me thinks Liverpool will suddenly play.
They won't lose 5 in a row, will they? Surely
play their way back into form next week, but that's another 6 days away. So enjoy this one for now.
Well, even if you couple this with the Spurs result of last week, that's 6 points there. That's going to Spurs away, Man City at home. Given the form that we were on at the start of the season, you look at we've had this easy start and we've not done well. When we get to Spurs and Man City or Villa could fumble, well, they haven't. We've got about the amount of points that I thought we'd have. Really, if you went back over the course of the season, going to Spurs away and winning. Well, you maybe don't expect that, but you would have expected to have beat Brentford. So the points-wise are the same. Losing to Crystal Palace, maybe you think you should beat them, but you might lose to Man City. So points-wise are the same. So Villa are where I thought they'd be around this stage, to be perfectly honest. I'd like a couple more points, of course I would, but everybody would, wouldn't they? So we're in a pretty good place, and I'd back us to at least get a point next weekend anyway against Liverpool. So, like you say, that's a conversation for another time. We're going to start early, actually, by the man of the match before we speak about any specifics. Let's try and pick our contender, shall we? It's everybody's favourite section. It's time for the Man of the Match award, and we're going to pick our top 3 in order. And if there wasn't 3 good players, it's a bit of tough isn't it? Oh, well, there's certainly 3 or more players that we could pick from, I think. I'm going to throw straight to you here to offer me some suggestions.
Oh, I thought Cash was brilliant again. Probably was my man of the match. Obviously, tops that with one hell of a goal.
Great goal, yeah. Lovely goal. Didn't even hit the floor, did it? Hit the turf before it went in, I don't think.
Yeah, really, really sweetly struck goal. I've only seen it since I've come back. I didn't see a replay when I was in the ground, and I thought that must have had a deflection. I've probably been harsh on it. It must have clipped off somebody, but I've seen it, and it's such a clean strike. But I thought he defended really, really well as well today.
He looks like a different player, to be fair. I've got to give him a lot of credit. We know what Matty Cash is. We know what his limitations are, and we've seen it over the 5 seasons that he's had with us now. That we often say, can he be upgraded? Yeah. Will we? Don't know. Emery continues to keep picking him. Besides the season when Consa played a lot out there, when Carlos and Torres played centre back, but Cash plays a lot of football under Unai Emery and was spoken about in the summer as maybe a player that gets a new contract. Those conversations have been brought up in the press over the last week or so, and that will happen. I'm sure. He's been, doing it without our player of the season last year, Yuri Tielemans. There's an argument that Cash is our player of the season so far. I think he's been good defensively. Offensively, he's been offering more. He scored a couple of goals already, which I don't know what his tally was last year, but I don't remember him scoring many, if any, off the top of my head. So he's definitely improved. So Cash, absolutely. I know some don't like this, as I pointed out a few weeks ago. Deserves his flowers, doesn't he? He's been good.
Yes, he does deserve his flowers.
Back in my day, that was just praising somebody.
Just imagine if just rocked up and gave him a bunch of flowers like he's just done, in Winter Olympics, he's just done it gives me a very Torval and Dean vibe, giving somebody who are also from Nottingham, I believe. Cash isn't from Cash isn't from Nottingham, is he?
I don't know. It's a good question. I can Google it if you fill for me for a second.
I think he's further south than that. Anyway, what am I talking about? Onana as well, I thought was really good. And I think
some Slough, apparently, Matty Cash. Fair play.
Yeah, I'm going to say, so that's a lot further south than Nottingham. I was going to say it's the home of Dunder Mifflin, but I've got the wrong one there. Is it Wernham Hog?
Wernham Hog, yeah. Oh, swindled a lot of slugs, aren't
they? Where are we at with this Onana? He was nervous to start. Well, not nervous, but he gave the ball away a couple of times, didn't he? When we were doing the slow, methodical build-up, and I winced a couple of times. But every time he gave the ball away, which wasn't that often beyond the first 10 minutes, he was, using the long legs that God gave him, using them to good effect to go and win it back. And I do think we might speak about the centre halves in a minute as well. But one of my concerns is that Haaland, in the form that he's been in, could bully us a little bit. Now, there was never a chance of that. And I know he was feeding on scraps, Haaland, but I think between them, Konsa, Pau Torres, and with that protective screen in front of them, in Onana, managed to make sure that he barely saw the ball. So those would be my two. I don't know, would they be in your top three?
Absolutely, yeah. Cash and Onana would be my top two, I think. But the second and third, I think I probably would have Cash. Often when you pick a man of the match, if somebody scores a goal, that seems to elevate them. If you're doing a player rating, they get a bonus 1, don't they? Is it a whole numerical shift upwards if they
not sure, mate. It's been a while since
let's say everyone's a 6 and he plays well, he's a 7. He scores a goal, he's an 8. That's how it works in my head. So Matty Cash is probably my number 1. The switch between 2 and 3 would be close.
I'm not doing the 6 and 7 thing, by the way. I don't understand it.
I do not get started. I have no idea, and I doubt many of our audience do as well, unless they're parents. God knows what the trends are going to be by the time my son grows up. It's mental. Switch between 2 and 3, Konsa and Onana would be my top 3 in some order. I thought Konsa was immaculate, and I've had a tweet on the way home, and I didn't watch him, and I don't know whether you saw much of him either, but comparisons to McGrath, like he's getting to that level, like he's that good. Now, I can't say for certain whether I believe that or not, but Konsa is probably the best centre-half I've seen play for Villa now. And not just because he's played well today, but like consistently he's been so good. It's his birthday recently, and he's 28, and it feels like he should be about 34 because he's been with us for so long as well.
Isn't Donnarumma only about 17 or something stupid?
Yeah, like is he 26 or something? Yeah, he looks a lot older, to be fair to him.
Something like that. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Because you say the name McGrath, and people of my generation and older get fiercely protective, saying, come on, Dan.
I'm only repeating a tweet.
Yeah, you can say he's the best human being you've ever seen play football, but you can't say he's as good as Paul McGrath. But he does. He kind of listen. 5 or 6 weeks ago, I'd have been saying, whether you'd agree with me or not, that Konsa, he got sent off against Newcastle. He's been a bit sloppy, etc., etc. But recently, he's been class, and he just does seem to be a little bit ahead of the game in terms of his thinking.
Yeah, reads the game very well.
Spotting danger very early. It was funny. I saw him. He was give Cash a bit of a bollocking, didn't he, towards the end, because Cash hadn't anticipated the brilliant ball that Konsa was going to play the outside of his boot.
he did like that, didn't he? He's like, well, I'm going to curl it. What do you think?
I'm actually Konsa course. I'm going to sweep it with the outside of my boot into space when I've got 3 Man City players putting me under pressure. It's what I do. So that did amuse me. But I thought he was good. I thought Torres was good. I thought McGinn was good.
Yeah, I was worried a little bit when McGinn came off. Me and my dad were speaking about that at the time, that we've said this before, you lose a bit of something. It's hard to even quantify what that something is, but you lose a bit of it when McGinn goes off. And I was a little bit, a little bit of you lose some of that. And it's still quite a long way to go when he came off. Was it 70 minutes maybe? I was like, it's at only 1-0. Him coming off with 5 to go, it's like, okay, roll the dice, try something different. But I was a little bit worried that you'd lose some of that industriousness or that energy. But Gesson has had his critics and rightly so, but I thought he did well in holding up the ball further up the pitch, hugging the touchline, trying to defend it further forward, going the other way. So fair play to him as well. But there wasn't really I had a slight concern that have the subs made us worse, and I felt it during the game. Like, I'm not quite so sure. Like, McGinn offers you this and Gesson is not quite the same, but I thought Barkley came on and looked the levels that we saw him come on off the bench last season when he came on, and we was like, we spoke about him, didn't we, being this metronome footballer, just ticking along nicely and keeping Villa steady. And then there was a period when he didn't look like that. He's obviously been away from the squad with personal issues, and now he's back. And in the last couple of games he's come on, I felt he's back to that level again of being just secure and safe. Obviously Sancho came off for Buendia, which we'll talk about separately, but I was a little bit concerned that those changes maybe decreased Villa's quality a little bit, but everyone that came on did their job very well as well in seeing out the game. So just a nice professional job all around from the whole squad, really.
Yeah, I thought all of the subs did well. Well, all of the second half subs. Like I said, we might get to Sancho in a little while. But yeah, the things about Barkley, I don't know whether Emery sends it. I don't think Emery sent him on to kind of bottle up the game in terms of put a lid on it and make sure that there's no threat. But he never get, if that is the message, he never gets that message. He still
he comes posting forward, yeah.
He comes on the front foot, doesn't he? Which I don't mind it. I mean, you get frustrated if he does that. If he does it and it works and it opens up space and we mount an attack, that's fine. If he does it and we lose the ball, you're thinking, oh God, why don't you just play it 5 yards square or whatever? But yeah, he seemed to come on with a point to prove. And yeah, Gesson had a lot of stick, didn't he? I think when people in the comments on Thursday when I said it was a bit raw, saying, is that a euphemism for something that begins with S and ends with T? And no, it was raw. It was to mean raw that I think he's got a bit to learn. He's an unconventional footballer, but I think he came on and performed the job he was asked to do today, to just be that, be physical, try and get hold of the ball, try and keep the ball, at least on the halfway line, if not further forward. And I think that played a part. Just trying to think who else came on.
Barkley and Gesson came on,
didn't he? And put himself
Marlon and Matson both came on as well. Obviously, Dean came back in. I thought he did well. I mean, everybody did well. It's one of those games where you can pick a couple of proper standouts, and the ones that we've spoken about. And Arno, there was a comment earlier on there that's probably his best performance for us, and more like what you'd expect from a £50 million signing. Konsa very good, and Cash very good. Torres, you've already mentioned. I thought he was solid as well, and I saw a little bit of this on social media that our turn in form came with Torres coming back into the side. Whether it's as simplistic as this, I don't think so. But Mings played against Go Ahead Eagles and we lose. Torres comes back in for this one, where there's some concerns about can he handle the physicality of Haaland, and combined with Konsa and help from Onana. Yeah, they can. But he didn't have much to play with, as you said, and he had a couple of kind of moments, Haaland, but they handled him very well. And as a unit, the whole back line performed as well. The midfield worked hard. The subs helped, as you said. So it's just one of those games where you can look at pretty much everybody and say, yeah, fair play. Like you've done a good job at seeing a result over the line. You've all played your part.
Yeah, and you've not mentioned Martinez. He didn't have a great deal to do, but he's the one sniff that Haaland's got. He knew
exactly where he was going to put it, though.
Probably telegraphed it straight at him, to be fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm saying that I'm not digging out Martinez. Some of his kicking, his long kicking, was a bit suspect in the first half, I thought. But he kept a clean sheet. So yeah, very, very satisfactory all-round professional performance, to be honest. If I was filling in a feedback form, 5 stars, yes, would like to see it again, would recommend to a friend.
Yeah, would absolutely like to see some of that again. Just on Haaland, kind of, and Watkins, who we spoke a lot about on the Fan Zone show yesterday, of one of the headers that we had sent was that he's past his sell-by date and that he's not good enough and he's not a prolific goal scorer and yada, yada, yada. He's not scored again today, and he did not score at Spurs either, but has played well in those games. And this is a really kind of reductive point to prove my side of the argument, and others would maybe find this a way to switch the odds around. But neither Haaland or Watkins scored today, but one of them helped their team more so than the other, and it wasn't Erling Haaland. And sometimes that's what you get: good hold-up play, good combinations, work rate, desire. I didn't see that from Haaland, and Haaland is a better goal scorer than Watkins. Don't get this twisted the wrong way. Neither of those were the match winner, though. But Watkins fits his unit of that team better. If Haaland doesn't score, he's not doing a fat lot.
Yeah, if there's anything that's past its sell-by date today, it was the raw milk that Erling Haaland drinks for his breakfast or what.
What is raw milk? Isn't all?
I don't know. Is it just straight from the teat? I don't know. I'm not sure.
I was about to say, that's a phrase that's never been uttered on this podcast, but to be honest, it probably has.
It probably has, and I'm all for it. Not drinking straight from the teat, but talking about it. What was the question? Did Ollie Watkins contribute more than Erling Haaland did today? I must admit, I was a bit, when I'm in a mischievous mood, I was a bit worried about his Norwegian wood.
What?
When he kind of scissored the goalpost.
Yeah. Took one to the knackers.
That was hilarious. That was. I did enjoy that.
I knew that was offside, by the way, before the ball hit the net.
Yeah,
Called it straight away.
I know, before the ball hit the goalpost. I've thrown myself now. What was I talking about?
I think Watkins should have scored today, by the way, and I think that will come. Is my point. His goal scoring will come, and we've spoken about this streaky player. But even if he's not scoring, I still think there's a way that he contributes to Villa's forward play. Whereas figures like Haaland, I'm really reducing how good of a player he is because he's very good. But do you know what I mean? Do you know the point I'm trying to make here?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose they've been asked to perform a different role, though, aren't they? To be honest, you know, if Haaland was not that Watkins always has to go and battle centre halves and run the channels and stuff like that, but Haaland doesn't have to do that very often at all, does it? How often do City go long and ask Haaland to compete? In wide areas, and they don't really. They just try and get him on the shoulder of the last centre half whenever they can. But Watkins, he should have done better with that chance. He's gone around the goalkeeper and then managed to trip himself up. I think when he's rounded Donnarumma. But I thought he worked hard. I thought he was physical. I thought he battled, and I thought he did contribute to the game today. And I'm a big Watkins fan anyway, to be honest. There's something very un-Ollie Watkins where he just played a lovely little flick around the corner in the first half. Was it to Buendia? The ball's come at him at quite some pace, and he's just bringing it down. He's just kind of flicked it around the corner. So he's in there.
He had a little run at somebody as well in that first half down the left-hand side and kind of cut back. I think they slid in and he rolled back onto his right-hand side. Oh, that's not really striker play, really, more kind of wingery, but kind of you think about him not having confidence. And I think in front of goal, probably isn't. If he goes through one-on-one, I don't think he is confident, but he's still got that bit about him that there's a good footballer in there that is helping his team. And you say about when we've gone through this period without Yuri Tielemans, we've also gone through this period of 6 wins in 7 without Ollie Watkins contributing the goals or Morgan Rogers contributing the goals, the goals that win the games. I know Rogers got one at Tottenham and Watkins has scored once this season, although I can't remember who it was against. But they're not the sole providers of Villa winning games. Like, they're helping the team unit, but others are stepping up as well, which is vastly important. We keep saying it's a team game, and we're seeing the evidence of that.
Yeah, it is nice to see goals coming from other areas as well. Still need a Pau Torres goal or an Ezri Konsa goal or a Luca Dingo. And I'm being greedy here. Now we've had
all 3 next week would be nice.
Matty Cash goal, yeah. I don't know. I'm already scared about next week. Then I can just see us just playing them back into form. So we'll worry about that in a week's time. I've lost my train of thought. Come on, ask me another question.
What about Rogers? Just quickly, are we now seeing the signs that he's back to what we expect? That he's had a couple of games now in a row where he's not had a stinker, basically.
Yeah, I think so. We spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. How long's he been at the club now? Are we approaching 2 years in January?
Yeah, I think so.
And even when he's been lighting up Villa Park, scoring his Champions League hat-tricks or whatever it is, or, I remember, was it Arsenal in his first season or was it last season where he's absolutely bullied Arsenal? That's often been followed by a game where... he's looked a bit ragged or things haven't gone well. So I think, it's the nature of him being very young and still finding his way into playing as an elite footballer at the top end of the Premier League every single week. It's a combination of that, the fact that he's probably getting more attention. Opposition managers know more about him than they would have done a year ago, 18 months ago. So he's having to cope with the extra attention. And I think the way that he plays kind of on the half turn, always on the run, etc., that's not always, he doesn't play safe, does he? Really? He always backs himself. Even if he finds himself with a ball at his feet on the edge of our box from a quick breakaway, he'll always try and set us up on attack, set us up on the attack. So I think because of all those circumstances, things are going to go wrong along the way, but if he keeps showing for things and he keeps trying to learn, and we give him that space and that support and that patience to learn, we've got a cracking player on our hands.
Yeah, and the point that you made a few weeks ago, I remember now, was that if you ask him to dull your game down and be simple and look safe and play the 5-yard pass, all right, well, he'll get 96% pass completion, but he's not Morgan Rogers. The essence of that player isn't there. You want him to take those risks and try things. There's a comment there from Gaz that says he gets more.
The essence of Morgan Rogers now sounds something you get from the perfume counter at
or our next mini
Burial.
documentary. Gaz in the comments there says, two things actually. He gets more space against the good teams, Rogers, and I think that's true. This bleeds into my argument of Villa play better against perceived better opposition. Like I'm more scared of, I don't know, trying to think of somebody crap, like Wolves away, despite how terrible they are, but I am Man City at home. Like, firstly, it's at home, but I know we're going to get chances against the better sides because they create space, because they are going to come on to us as well. Whereas when the onus is on us to go and beat a crap team, that's when we fumble around a little bit. And the other one from Gaz was how much for the 89-90 Hummel shirt, Matt?
It's very little, actually. It's very small.
It's little, yeah.
It wouldn't fit me. I think it was my sister's, back in the day. But I managed to wrestle it from her. But yeah, I'm going to say I'd love to be able to fit into it, but I'd probably have some kind of illness if I if I fitted into that. But you can't have it. It's mine.
Okay.
100 quid. Say again.
100 quid.
Are you bidding on behalf of Gaz or on behalf of you?
Well, it wasn't for me either, so let's just move on, shall we? Ty says that's almost makes it more frustrating, though, doesn't it? It feels like a focus and determination issue, turning our nose up at the smaller clubs. Yeah, possibly. I mean, it's hard, isn't it? We spoke on Thursday night about complacency and that kind of thing. Villa have got to find a way to win against the teams that they expect to win, and that will come as well, I think. And we have done that, of course, but we slip up sometimes. Whereas going to Liverpool next week with, I don't want to say without pressure, but they're not playing particularly well, and it's away from home, and that's just different. They'll create chances, but I think that leaves space for us to go and do the same, and we probably thrive in those conditions as opposed to trying to break down Bournemouth at home the following week, which will be different. That's probably not a great example. Let's move on to Sancho and Buendia. I think that probably wraps us up. A blow for Buendia, obviously, to come off substituted and looked a pain for one and looked serious. I've seen people in the comments suggest that he left or was seen leaving Villa Park with crutches, which I can't confirm. So let's just kind of leave that up in the air and forget about it for now. If it is, though, obviously that's not going to be a quick turnaround for him. And Sancho comes on to replace him, who's not fit himself, as Emery said, and the plan is to get him more minutes. And that's why he was substituted off. It wasn't a punishment for a bad performance. It's you can only contribute a certain amount of minutes, which I think is fine. For Go Ahead Eagles, I thought Sancho started well in that first half when Villa were better, and I was excited to see more of him when he come on, but I didn't think he did loads great. And again, what we miss in McGinn's oomph, you miss some of Buendia's oomph as well, don't you?
Yeah, it's a real shame for Buendia, isn't it? I know he's had a bad couple of days, really. If you took him back to last Sunday, he'd still be buzzing, wouldn't he, from the winning goal at Spurs and the quality of that. And that, to me, was more fitting cherry on top for the way that he's played and the way that he's forced his way back in this season. So then we've obviously had the moment on Thursday night when he skied the penalty. And he didn't even get a foul for that today, did he? Because I think it was Núñez who was climbing all over him. And never really recovered, did he? I think a couple of minutes later, he went down and looked to be in some discomfort. So that really, really is bad luck and real misfortune. Such a shame for him because, he's had a few full starts in his Villa career anyway, whether that's been form, fitness, Villa signing supposedly better players to play ahead of him in his position. But it's a real kick in the teeth, that is. So I saw in the comments and seen some chat on social media that people have seen him on crutches. I don't know. But hopefully it's just a precaution and he's back before too long.
Yeah, if it's a frustrating 3 or 4 week one, then we have another international break upcoming in the next couple of weeks. I'm sure everyone is delighted to know. And you'd think, okay, if he misses 2 or 3 games, it's whatever. Like if he misses, 12 or 15 games or something with a 3 or 4 month injury, that's really going to halt any kind of progress that he's had. And yeah, hopefully it's not the case, and we'll talk about that more if that does turn out to be the case. I mean, I don't know when more next year or anything. It might be Emery's presser for Liverpool next week. Just on Sancho, were you impressed, unimpressed, pressed?
I thought he did okay on Thursday night. I thought there were signs. He seemed to be a lot more. Who wouldn't be? He seemed to be a lot more confident running at the go ahead Eagles defense than he did against the Man City defense today. He seemed to kind of check back a few times. There's a couple of times when he ran into cul-de-sacs. I mean, he's had that one little thing where he's managed to retrieve and rescue the ball near the byline in front of the whole end and get a couple of shots away. Probably should have done better with the second one, to be honest, but I think it came at him quite quickly. So these moments there, I don't know. I mean, this is probably contradicting what happened when I spoke in the week, because was it Martinez who somebody sulked off down the tunnel on Thursday, and I was saying, no, people don't sulk, etc., etc. Sancho didn't get involved in the celebrations, and I don't think he was sulking. I think he was probably a bit frustrated that he has been taken off, and I know what you say, that Emery's saying he's got to get those minutes into his legs kind of thing, but I'd have liked to have seen him just be involved. I don't think anybody would have begrudged him those celebrations if he'd have joined in at the end of it. And I got the sense of him not doing that he still doesn't feel part of this group yet. I'm sure Bodymoor Heath and the Villa dressing room is a welcoming environment. I'm not saying that people haven't tried to make him fit in, but again, this is bloody just me putting 2 and 2 together and getting 5. But I get the sense that he needs to really make an impact.
I think he feels like
before he feels that he deserves to be part of those celebrations and to deserve that he's contributed.
Bit of kind of like an imposter syndrome.
Yeah, not imposter syndrome that he doesn't think he's good enough to play for.
Like he's a competition winner.
Yeah, not that he doesn't say that he's good enough to play to Aston Villa, but just that he hasn't done enough yet to deserve to be fully in that group. Really,
he wants to be the match winner one week to fully appreciate it.
Yeah, and he probably does feel a bit unloved generally for the way that his career's gone so far. To be honest, he probably just needs a good home, doesn't he?
Yeah. Elliot
got a good home. She's got a lovely home, to be honest. But
Harvey Elliott quickly, not in the squad. I've not seen anything from Emery, but I don't think it's an injury or anything like that. I think it's just he wasn't picked for the squad, which is absolutely fueling the conspiracy theories of this 10-game appearance fee, mandatory transfer, blah 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 blah. If Buendia is to be out for a period of time, Harvey Elliott is at least going to be back on the bench. Whether he starts playing games or not, though, is I don't know. It's a strange one, isn't it? We spoke about it a bit the other day.
He could probably walk straight into the Liverpool team now. Well, he could if he grew another 3 feet and could head away along throws. It's weird, isn't it?
It is odd.
So weird. I mean, I'm just looking at who was on the bench today for us who didn't come on. So,
Gesson, Sancho, Marlon, Maatsen, Lindelof, Bizot, Gesson.
You know, there's got to be a place for him on that bench, hasn't there?
I'd have thought so, yeah. I would like to. I said this to the guy sitting next to me. If this was, because all the talk is we've signed somebody that Emery didn't want, and this is the straw that broke the camel's back for Monchi, blah, blah. If this was a a second league in Portugal or a League Two player in England or whatever, and we don't know nothing about him, and it was a gamble and whatever, you'd be like, okay, I can kind of feel into that a little bit. It's Harvey Elliott. And I'm not suggesting he's a world-class, unbelievable talent. You have to play him, but he's come through and played a lot of games at Liverpool, who've won trophies. He was the standout performer for England under-21s. Like, this is a player that is good. We know he's good, and surely would perform a role in this squad. So for him not to even be in it now it's just weird. And he obviously can't play next week either. So
I don't know how you get him. I don't know how you get him past Emery on deadline day if Emery doesn't want him, though.
Well, yeah, I know.
Do you know what I mean? Emery's like, I never, like you said, he's probably heard of him, hasn't he?
I'd have liked to thought so, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And listen, I'm not somebody saying in the comments here that Harvey Elliott suddenly becomes Messi now because he's on the bench, and we instill in him this great superpower because he's not playing automatically. Therefore, he becomes an excellent player. I don't necessarily think that. I'm not saying that him coming on loan from last season's Premier League champions Liverpool automatically makes him, an automatic pick for us. But it is just very, very surprising that we've not seen more than the odd 10-minute cameo from him. And we're not even seeing that now, are we? We're not even seeing, I don't know. Was he at the stadium today? I don't know.
I don't know. Let's not speculate, shall we? Just in case. But yeah, it's odd, isn't it? Football wise, are we done? Is there anything else you want to discuss? I've got one thing eating away at me, but I'm keen to see if you've got any list of other things we need to go through.
I haven't really. I've got. I don't know what Austin McPhee's done to you, because I'm thinking we scored a goal from a set piece without him waving his hands around, but I didn't look. I didn't check whether, because he was on crutches today, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know if he was waving his crutch around to like point. That's where Matty Cash is there. So I don't know what he's done, but I hope he gets well soon. Anyway, I don't know if he's had ACL or hip replacement or whatever it is.
Hip replacement.
Get well soon.
Well, I didn't laugh at ACL, but the thought of a set piece. Thought of a set piece coach doing the ACL is funny. It's not.
That's just reminding me who's the coolest bloke in the hospital.
Go on.
The ultrasound guy.
Yeah,
who's the second coolest bloke in the hospital? The hip replacement guy.
Good, yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
I told my wife a crap joke the other day that I was certain she would have heard it before, but she hadn't. So we were talking about, I can't remember what, but I said, what's ET short for? She said extraterrestrial, and I said, no, he's got little legs. And she was like, oh. I was like, you never heard that before. It's classic jokage, isn't it?
Classic, love it. Anyway, go on, over to you.
My thing that's eating away with me is that I'm done with prize where it lies. It's crap, innit? Why do we still persist with that? 3 people doing it is not worth getting the big piece of parachute out in the first place. It takes longer to set up than it does to play the game. And I get it, it's kids, which part of the problem, that for me, that it's kids. I've said it before, I want to see fat 50-year-old ball blokes have a go and slip arse over tit. And hey, that's what we really want to see, right? One kid blasts it into the when it used to be on the halfway line, he'd have won, to be fair, well past the disc. The other kid nowhere near it. And again, I'm not doubting their ability, they're kids, but what's the point? Is anyone watching that with apart from their parents, is anyone watching that with, this is good entertainment? This podcast, is this good entertainment? Oh, God, it's crap. Change it. Rubbish.
You don't even have John Duran now warming up as a halftime sub just to knock it onto the disc, do you? So
it's just pointless.
It has had its day in the format that it's in, but nothing's come close to it, has they? When they've tried to replace it with that one when they volley it off a bloody trampoline or whatever.
I want to see adults. I want to see drunk adults making a fool of themselves. That's what I want to see. I don't see corporate, kids. No, this is all very polished and clean, and let's all be nice and everybody's a winner. No, if you're gonna do it properly. Right, I'm done. I think. Are you done?
I am, mate. Yes, I think so. I'm gonna go and play. I'm gonna go and play five-a-side in a bit anyway. But I've got them. I don't know whether the big shops arrived. I've got to help my wife put the big shop away, but it might not. It's going to come between 6 and 7. So if it comes after 6:30,
you're in the clear.
Yeah, well, I'm in the clear in terms of I haven't got to do it, but I'm in the doghouse for not doing it. So.
You can't win, can you? You just can't win these days. Adam Leeming says, what about prize in disguise? 3 fans in the stands are undercover staff with prizes on them. Oh, yeah, I can't see what would go wrong there. And people have to find them. Good name, though. Prize in disguise. I quite like that. Yeah, change the halftime game, please. Somebody do something about it. Right, I'm going to call it a wrap there on this episode. There's a QR code on screen for those that are watching. That takes you directly to the mailbag. There's also a link in the podcast description down below. It says Carlton Blue mailbag, Google form. You can go in there and leave a question for John and I on the Q&A. We're filming that tomorrow morning, and it should be out tomorrow afternoon, if not Tuesday morning. Very positive, of course. So please get involved with some of your questions. I'm going to sneakily change that QR code and maybe dupe somebody into getting NordVPN. That'll take you through to get the discount code.
I know that's part of the deal with NordVPN. I don't think we trick people into it.
We've got a good sign apparently, so maybe it is.
Yeah, listen, if you don't want to fall victim to internet tricksters, NordVPN are absolute kind of the most marvellous protection against those horrible people on the internet who try to trick you into things that you don't want to do.
I tell you what, it's almost like we planned that as a little skit, but it didn't. Just comes off the cuff to us. So natural. All the links that you need are in the description down below. Right, thanks everyone for tuning in to this episode of the post-match reaction on Claret and Blue. Really appreciate it as per. John and I will be back with the Q&A on Monday, so do get your questions over. We'll see you then. Have a good rest of your Sunday. Bye-bye for now. Enjoy football, Matt. I'll come along at half-time. I'll do a little prize rate live for you. I'll make it more interesting than Villa's one. All right, bye.